Hello and welcome to this edition of Frank and Mickey Talk. I'm Mickey and this is Frank Montez from Torrey Pines Financial.
Hello there.
So last episode we did on the review process of permanent life insurance policies. So today we really want to continue that discussion and talk about the importance and need to review term life insurance policies. So with that, Frank, we talked about permanent life insurance and how really the review process is seeing if the contract was set up correctly from the onset. Temporary insurance is a little bit different because there isn't a cash value component. So what are the key reasons clients want to review these policies a couple years after they're put into place?
I think the biggest reason, so if you're checking in the early years, you still may be able to find, let's say, a better rate.
Okay.
If, let's say, maybe if anybody had any health issues, if those have been corrected, we could maybe get a better rating, which is a lower cost of insurance in the early years. Once a policy's been in place for a while, I would say the biggest thing is, what I find is that a client will purchase a policy with a period of time in mind, thinking that they only need it for 10, 12, 15 years, let's say, for an example.
Okay.
And then in the 10th year, we review it, and all of a sudden their situation has changed. And what they don't realize is in 5 years, I have a policy right now, it's a $5 million policy. This gentleman is 54, and in 3 years, the policy will end. It's in its 12th year, and he's paying $5,900 a year for a $5 million death benefit. The premium actually goes to $145,000. And it's with John Hancock. It's a good company. But what happens is, from the insurance company standpoint, they know that anybody that's looking to keep it after this period of time probably has a health issue. So if you're healthy and you can go out and get another contract, it's not an issue. But somebody might consider it if they had some type of health problems or, God forbid, a terminal illness. It might be worth paying that $145 to get the $5 million in a year or two. So I think the biggest answer to that, Mickey, would be things change.
Yeah.
And often the time that they think they needed coverage turned out to be they wanted something longer.
And so when we look at a term policy, like you said, they're going to designate how long they want it for, let's say 15, 20-year policy. Now, at the end of that term, when it's over, you're saying that the insurance company can still continue coverage, but then the rates are just going to go up astronomically.
That's correct. All life insurance contracts are called unilateral contracts, meaning that once you're insured, the insurance company has to keep an offer out there. Okay. And a term contract guarantees what that premium is, and then after that guaranteed premium, they can charge what they want.
Okay.
It's unilateral. You have the right to not pay that, but as I said, it's tied to your health and your desire for how long you want coverage.
Okay. And then when folks are looking at these term policies, and let's say they're getting towards the end of the policy, what are their options there? If it lapses, obviously they pay the higher amount. Are there any other riders or provisions within the policy that allow them to continue coverage?
Great question. So some term policies have what's called a conversion option.
Okay.
And simply that means that you can convert to a permanent contract with that insurance company without any medical underwriting. So if you got a preferred 15 years ago, and even though you might have put on some weight or have high cholesterol, they're going to transfer that term policy into a permanent policy based on that rating. Now, the only deal is, it's going to be priced at the age that you are currently buying it. So you don't get to lock in that earlier age, but you do get to lock in that rate. And that can be a viable option for some people. Okay.
So under that, they're converting it, and the big deal there is no medical evidence required.
That is a big deal, yes. We walk around healthy and we don't think about it, but as my first mentor taught me, your health buys your life insurance, not your money. So, and in today, the insurance companies are looking, the underwriting has really changed. They're looking at longevity of your parents, any cancer histories, and different companies look at different conditions differently. So that's really our job to kind of get some information from you, a lot of information from you actually, in the preliminary stages, and go out and find the companies that are best suited to your situation.
And let's say that process doesn't happen. We go online, it's kind of easy now to buy term life insurance online. What are the pitfalls that await a client that doesn't kind of do that pre-review process to purchasing a policy?
So there's a industry in place that any medical information, a lot of people don't know, anytime you use any type of insurance, there's a database that your history goes into. So if you go apply with the carrier, and let's say you smoked in the last 6 months, you could have trouble. You could be locked in for a year because the insurance companies, when you apply with any company, they're going to see that history. So what we try and do is, before we do any applications or any underwriting, we try and get as much information as we can. I currently have a situation with a gentleman that has a term policy, actually the one I just explained, and he's a perfect example. He wants coverage for a longer period of time. So he wants to keep that $5 million. And it would have been easy just to, have him sign an application, send it in, and he's healthy, doesn't drink, non-smoker. But I know if his cholesterol is a little high, there's certain carriers that will look at him favorably as opposed to others. So we're waiting. He's got an exam scheduled for July 7th on his own. I'll get that report in a generic form. I will not disclose to the carriers the name of this gentleman, and I will send that paperwork out, and we'll get offers. You can't guarantee the offer, but you get a very good understanding of what those rates will look like.
Excellent. So not only the pre-underwriting process is very important, but then also really the discovery process of what carriers are going to be the right fit for each individual that's out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you were to advise clients that have a term policy in place right now, how often should they be looking at these policies?
I like to review all policies on an annual basis if possible. Sometimes it's just a matter of confirming everything as it is and continue on, but things change, situations change, and it's just worth the time to evaluate everyone's situation and their needs.
Excellent. Before we close out today, is there anything else that you want to add on term life insurance review process?
No, I think we covered it. I'll just say once again, it's very rare that we get in a position to review whether a permanent or term insurance policy that we can't either explain some characteristics of a program that the insured didn't know, or sometimes improve upon them. So it's worth looking at.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining Frank and I on this edition of Frank and Mickey Talk. If you liked the video, make sure to like it down below. And if you're brand new, please be sure to subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day.
Thank you.